welcome back. We're going to talk today about costume jewelry, fun, sparkly. Hopefully it will bring some sparkle into your day. It's November 2020. This year is almost over, thank God. I have a series on YouTube that's called Vintage Costume Jewelry Series. It's 5 things to know about different manufacturers. And when I looked at the views that I had in some of my videos, I realized that what you like is the ones that are about certain manufacturers. So that's what we're going to do today. So today I picked Butler Wilson. And you may not be familiar with Butler Wilson, but they are a British-based company. And people ask me, what do you collect? Well, one of the things that I collect is Butler Wilson. And the reason for that is it's still attainable. When there's a couple of manufacturers right now that are so popular that the prices are just going astronomically high. There's a few pricey pieces to Butler Wilson, but in general, there's a lot out there. It's very fun, it's whimsical, and it's just something that's very enjoyable to collect. So I also like to wear my things. So I think that Butler Wilson is very wearable. Butler Wilson started by Nikki Butler and Simon Wilson, and they started their careers, excuse me, in the 1960s. And they sold vintage and antique jewelry at a couple of the big markets in London, the big antique markets. And you might have heard of these before. Portobello Market is really well known. Camden Passage is another one. And so they sold not their pieces, but Art Deco predominantly, jewelry in these places. And they also started selling in some of the larger antique malls, if you will. They're not quite the same as what we have in the U.S. So they started to be very successful and started their own line, and really that Art Deco influence permeates in some of their jewelry. In 1972, they opened their own shop in London on Fulham Road. And they expanded it later with a second shop in 1985. So this is all, even though the company's been a while, they've been around since, the 60s. This is the newer side of costume jewelry. And the stuff that they designed is exciting, it's witty, it's whimsical, and it's very definitely fake jewelry. They did not attempt to make things that look like real jewelry. They had a really unique marketing plan. And what they did was they had huge billboards in London, and they featured famous celebrities, models, actresses, etc. And I'm going to show you more of that later. That combined with the fact that a lot of celebrities like Joan Collins, the late Diana, Princess of Wales, Bianca Jagger, and Kate Middleton, just to name a few, were big supporters and, just had a real love of Butler Wilson jewelry. But I want to go right to number 2, and that is the signatures. And that's the other thing that's good about collecting this. There's only 2 signatures. And it's either it's on a cartouche, a little round disc on the back of the jewelry, and it either is Butler and Wilson completely spelled out, or B and W. The other thing that I wanted to show you is there's still a lot of jewelry available that has the original boxes. And here you'll see a couple of the different types of boxes there are. It's the pink that has Butler Wilson on the top, and that is the older version, and then the Butler Wilson, the darker one. I'm absolutely sure that that's what they're selling today. Number 3 of the 5 things to know is this billboard marketing campaign they ran through from 1982 to 1990. And This book, there's two really great books on Butler and Wilson. This is one of them, and this is the one I use probably most often. It's called Rough Diamonds. And the other one is the 40th anniversary book that Butler and Wilson did to celebrate the occasion. These aren't typical jewelry books. It's not one where you get a piece and you go, oh, let me go look it up and see what it's worth and what the dimensions are. That's not what this does. It tells you maybe the time frame, which is very helpful, but that's it. No values or anything else. And I'll give you some ideas of the values as we go through this. But this was an example, and there's a lot of them in here, of their billboard campaign. This is Jill Goodacre. And you can see what she has on, the pearls and the topaz stars. Hers is a bow. Same thought, but it's a fun way to take these pictures and then try to find the pieces. So this one I have on is similar to this, the pearls, the topaz colored rhinestones. And I love this piece. That's what I'm saying with Butler and Wilson. I love to wear it. I love this with the jacket or pin like this. It's just a pin on each side, or with a long coat that doesn't have buttons with it. This stuff is just very wearable, I find anyway. And it always gets nice comments from people about, oh, I love your brooch. Jill was an actress. She was a Victoria's Secret model at the time. And she's married to Harry Connick Jr. Lucky girl. This is another example. This is Faye Dunaway. This is a real famous one. She's got a big silk white ascot, and then in the center of it, she has this very large, I think this thing is almost 6 inches long, rhinestoned hand. There's a lot of variations of this. Now this piece, just to give you an idea, is one of the more popular ones, one of the rarer ones. This one is definitely a vintage piece. And this one goes for just around about $500. I keep looking for it. I've only come across 2 or 3 of them. This one's on my own collection. I keep it because I like the red rhinestones for the nails. But it also comes in black and comes in clear. But this is on the pricier side of that. So I would say that's on the higher end of Butler and Wilson. Another example is Toko. I believe that she's a fashion model. I wasn't able to find her on the internet. But here she's got the spider brooch. It's very large. Kind of crawling up her dress. And one that sits on her bare shoulder. I like it on the shoulder just because it sits up so much. So I would like it up here. It's a great Halloween piece. You can find these. Not a lot in this size. There's smaller versions of it. The smaller versions tend to be the newer ones, but I would say this one's probably closer to 200 in the range of anyway. Another example is Marion Swanell. That's who this picture is of. And you can see down the back, there are 7 or 8 different variations of the lizard. And here is an example of it. You can see these are quite large. The other thing about Butler and Wilson, when they have these really long pieces, which I love, and I love the ones that have movement to them, there's usually a double pin so that you can hang it over the side, but it will hold on your clothing. The other thing, all the backs look like this. They're all these little strands of all prong set rhinestones. There's another plus for Butler and Wilson. You don't have to worry about the stones falling out. It's all prong set, and I've never gotten one that had a stone that was out. So that's a very positive thing. Okay, the last billboard series I'm showing you here is called the Grand Hotel series. So there are some that are part of the series. And this one has quite a few things. If you look on this side, you'll see he's carrying luggage, the bell captain, or over here he's serving drinks. This one is Mater D in the dining room. These have earrings. I think she's got earrings on. They're hard to see, but some of them have earrings. These are a little bit more difficult to find than some of the other ones are. Anything that has this, you know, cascading rhinestone to it are very popular. One of the most iconic pieces is this one that we're seeing now, and it's called the Dancers. And it's one that I want to have you aware of. This one is signed right there, Butler and Wilson. There are a lot of reproductions of this on the market. So, you know, if you're going to start collecting Butler and Wilson, make sure that it is signed pieces. Another series that they had, which is number 4 in 5 Things to Know, is the Man in the Moon series. And you can see several examples here. Some of these are actually marked sterling. And it looks like it's a, galalith maybe, or some kind of a plastic that is the faces of the moon. And then there's also Perot, which I don't have yet, but I'm looking for. And then the enamel, kind of coming later, but staying in the same theme, is the enamel moon and stars. And here you see the bracelet and a couple of brooches in the different colors. Like I said, the Fulham store is still there. The other one shut down. The Fulham store is the one that I went to. It was fabulous. When you go in there, you're going to see the new stuff. And they are using some of the designs from the old pieces in the new pieces, but they also have a lot of new things. Like, for example, I got this ring when I was at Butler and Wilson. And that's not something that, that's a new design. And it's just a fun little piece. And honestly, they're not very expensive. I mean, we're talking less than $50. When I did go in the store, though, they are also doing accessories, and they've started to put real gems in some of their jewelry, and then they get really pricey. I accidentally picked up one of those and went to check out to have to say, oops, I didn't mean to do that. What you're seeing in here are some examples of the newer things. So this eye, which is very famous, it's Dali, which is surrealist, Salvador Dali, surrealist example, and Elsa Schiaparelli was also a big influence on Butler and Wilson. So you see, some of the things that she designed in their designs as well, with Salvador Dali, I should say. And then this is, the bigger, pierced, fun though. I think they're tremendously fun. And here's an example of the bow, which has, I wish I could give you some generalities on the new stuff, but I find a lot of the new stuff uses a lot more combinations of colored crystal than some of the old things did. Just to compare, here you're looking at, clear red and black. And here you have all this multitude of colors. I find the newer stuff is kind of like that. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I had said I don't have a lot of this on my website, but there are some Butler and Wilson pieces, and you can look and read some more. And you can find it on other websites as well. So thanks very much for joining. I hope this brought a little sparkle into your day.